let me turn on the mic first, and then we can get to business. Sorry about that. So, welcome to Movie Lounge. I'm your host, Stephen Watson, and yeah. So this week has been really busy for me, and I haven't been able to do an episode. And yeah, it's been interesting. So, and then I did see Alien Covenant. I'm gonna do a live stream of that after this one, so it'll be separate. But we're gonna get into a very interesting topic that could get me demonetized or what on YouTube or get me in trouble. I not trouble as in like, ooh, I'm gonna beat you, maybe, depending on who's gonna watch this. But we're gonna talk about political correctness in Hollywood and why that's actually bad. And there's certain things you can do that doesn't make it bad, but in recent history, it's becoming more of a problem in Hollywood. And I'm a person who doesn't really like to be politically correct. That's just because my sarcastic humor doesn't fall in that category. But I get why some people want political correctness, and I'm not gonna shun them for it. It's their opinion. But this is all based on a show called The Last Man Standing that was actually run by Fox, and then ABC helped show it. And I a lot of people were asking me about this, and I didn't know much about the show. I just knew that it it was just about a guy and his family, done by Tim Allen, and I just never really got into it. And so I finally watched a few episodes, and I have no idea why the crap people, why ABC didn't keep the show going, and why they canceled it. There's two theories of why, and I think both of them actually work, and I think both of them play an important role in this. But so when a show cancels, or when a studio cancels a show, it's usually based on the ratings and or budget of paying the actors. And I that those two right there are very plausible and very acceptable reasons why, hey, we can't have this show going on because it doesn't make much ratings, or we're not getting enough money from it. So I get that. I get that side of it, and that I'm fine with. That's nothing to do with political things. It's just it's business. And but it's kind of interesting with The Last Man Standing. When I watched it, I loved it. It was one of the few shows I was like, wow, I could really get into this. Dang, there's no more seasons coming. I'm gonna let it up. The problem with The Last Man Standing is with Tim Allen in the sense he's very outspoken about his conservative libertarian side of it. And if you watch the show, you'll see it's not all right wing Republican stuff. He makes fun of everything in the show, and that's what I like because it's not biased. It's very balanced with all the jokes going on. It's very one line, quick, witty, and I like that about this show. And he made a comment or a joke, and to me, I didn't get as offended to the joke, but I kind of chuckled because I got the main reference behind it, and I'll explain the reference from what I understand it is. He made a joke on, and I forget which, Jimmy Kimmel or one of the shows, and he made a comment that Hollywood is like 1930 Germany, pretty much making a Nazi joke. To me, behind that, and I've talked to some people, and they kind of got the idea of what the joke is. To me, the joke behind that, and I think that's one reason why he got canceled, was Hollywood is very controlling. Hollywood is very much like, if you're not going to follow this way, then you're out. Kind of like how Nazi was in Germany. And by the way, I do not support Nazi or Germany or anything heinous of crime that they did. But when he made that joke, it didn't sit well with people. And he made it very light joke and stuff. Could have worded it a lot differently, but I kind of got the reference of it, and I was like, all right, that's kind of funny. Taking a stab at Hollywood. I get it. I'm down for that. And I think a week after that, it got canceled. The show got canceled. This is where it becomes very hard. I think anyone who makes a show or a movie has the right, the God given right, to make whatever they want. If I'm going to make a war movie, yes, I'm going to make it violent because violence is a part of war. That's what's going to happen when you see it. Or if I make a gangster movie or rap movie, like you're going to hear a bunch of f bombs drop because it fits in that is it's not the stereotypical, it is actual facts that rappers they some rappers don't have a filter on what they say and they'll say whatever. So it's fitting for that. That's one thing. And so the problem I have is when you watch something and it doesn't fit well with the norm or with what the studio wants, then they're going to police you on, oh, you can't say this because you're going to offend everyone. In my opinion, if you're the creator and you're creating this for people to watch, it's for a certain audience. If you know none of this is, if you know that your show or your movie isn't bad or offensive in any possible way, like there's obvious words like the N word being shown, or just saying slurs, racial slurs. If you're not doing any of that stuff, but you're saying like, but you know, okay, it's not bad, but people are getting offended on the lightest thing, and you get canceled, then that's a problem because you're being controlled on what you want to do. Now with comedy, it's kind of interesting because comedy you're more open to. When I was growing up, comedy was more open to saying certain things. Like Blazing Saddles to me is probably one of the most racial comedies, but it's funny in the sense of that it makes fun of itself. And when I watch Blazing Saddle, I get the references. I get the fact that they're making fun of themselves. They're making fun of everything going around them. And if you made that movie now, you would lose a job. You would not have any career in Hollywood because people are so they get offended on the smallest things. Now with Last Man Standing, there is nothing very offensive about it. It pokes fun of the whole political side and everything. But I feel like when you start the PC police or however you want to say it starts pushing their agenda on you to the point where your opinion or your views, whether they be about politics, religion, or whatever, and you're doing it in a way that people actually enjoy it, then that becomes a problem. And I know Last Man Standing was like what the number one or two comedy for ABC. It was like super high ratings. Everyone, it got such good praise because it was actually one of the wholesome shows. It showed real lifestyle of things, and I enjoyed it as I was watching it. I was like I could see myself as him, where it's he cares for his family and he cares about everyone around him and doing it in a very funny way. So I applaud Tim Allen for standing up for what he believes in. I think that's important. If you can stand up for what you believe in and not be afraid of what Hollywood is going to say or do to your show or movie, then yeah, you're doing what you feel is right. I think that's the important thing. And I think people need to kind of like check their offended card at the door because when you're watching something, the people who create are not here to offend you. They're not here to see how many times, ooh, I can offend a millennial college student on something. That's not the point. The point is I'm making something entertaining for you to watch. And so yeah, this topic was so hard for me because it's like, man, I do not want to talk about politics on this show. And this show is nothing. Movie Lounge is not political based. It isn't. It's very opinionated based. And some things I may say may offend someone. If like, ooh, which I don't know how I could offend you on editing. I don't know, but I'm sure there's someone out there. So my whole deal is I want to help people understand like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. I want people to kind of get an idea of like, okay, it's not as bad as what it sounds if I talk about political things. And there are things I could talk about that are very touchy subjects. I choose not to talk about it. And the reason why I talk about this is because I'm very passionate about what I want to create and what I want to do. And if someone's controlling what I want to produce and what I want to make, then I feel very hurt and I feel more of a personal attack. So I kind of got the sense of like, this isn't right. Now there's a petition for Last Man Standing to be taken by people are writing in their names and trying to do a petition for studios to make it. I don't see Netflix doing this. I don't see anyone else, but I could see another studio taking this and like, hey, we see potential in this. We want to show it. And I think it's important to realize that you shouldn't let, if you're very passionate about something, you shouldn't let a studio control you all the way on like what you should do. And if you know this is going to be successful, then go with it. So yeah, so that is the show. I hope I'm not. We'll know by Monday if I'm going to be here or not. The show on YouTube. If not, VidMe, just go there. They're not as strict on things. Huh. So yeah, if you want to support the show and keep it going and just hearing my opinions and my views on certain things in film, let me know. Down the road, I might get into more of those bigger topics and stuff. So yeah, if you want, you can keep us supporting, share, like, subscribe, whatever you guys want. Comment in the section. I'm now going to start doing the Alien Covenant review, and yeah, that'll be on the next live show in just a few minutes. All right, you guys have a good day.